Hey everyone, and welcome. Today is Java Day 24, and we are diving into something absolutely crucial: functional interfaces and Lambda expressions in Java 8. If you've been wanting to write cleaner, more modern Java code, you are in exactly the right place.
Here's our quick game plan for today. We'll start with an introduction, look at how to create these interfaces, explore Lambda expressions, check out the built-in interfaces Java gives us, and wrap it all up with a quick summary. Let's get right into it.
All right, Part 1, Introduction to Functional Interfaces.
So, before Java 8 came along, if you wanted to pass around behavior or functionality, you had to pass an entire object. Kind of clunky, right? But then, Java 8 introduced a massive game changer: functional programming. A functional interface is super simple. It's just an interface with exactly one abstract method. That's it. We call this the SAM rule, or Single Abstract Method. This one strict rule is literally what allows Java to work its magic with modern Lambda expressions.
Now, here's a really cool little loophole. While a functional interface can only have one abstract method, Java 8 actually allows you to pack it with as many default and static methods as you want. The rule isn't broken as long as that one core abstract method stands alone.
And you know what? This concept isn't actually completely brand new. Think about the legacy interfaces you've probably used a million times, things like Runnable, Callable, or Action Listener. They actually follow that SAM rule perfectly. For instance, Runnable only has the run method. So, surprise, they totally qualify as functional interfaces in modern Java.
Moving right along to Part 2, Creating a Functional Interface. When you're writing your own functional interface, it is a massive best practice to slap the @functional interface annotation right at the top. Think of it like a safety net. If you, or maybe another developer on your team, accidentally tries to add a second abstract method later on, the compiler's going to immediately throw an error and stop you in your tracks.
To put it into practice, you just use that @functional interface annotation and inside define your single public abstract method, like our good old run method here. Because there's exactly one abstract method, the compiler gives it a big thumbs up. Okay, Part 3, Using Lambda expressions. This is where the magic really happens.
So what is a Lambda expression? Basically, it's an anonymous function, a function without a name. And the syntax is incredibly simple. It breaks down into 3 easy steps. First, on the left, you've got your parameters in parentheses. Next, in the middle, the arrow operator, that's the dash and greater than sign. And finally, on the right, the expression, which is the actual code you want to run. It's just so clean.
To really appreciate this, look at the difference. Before Java 8, writing even a tiny piece of logic meant creating these huge, verbose, anonymous inner classes, just tons of boilerplate code. But now, all that bulky code is completely stripped down into a sleek, one-line Lambda expression. It's a total breath of fresh air. And because they're so compact, you can treat behavior just like data. You can assign a Lambda directly to a variable, or pass it right into a method as a parameter. Functions are now first-class citizens in Java, and it's incredibly powerful.
Next up, Part 4, Built-in Functional Interfaces.
Now, you don't have to build custom interfaces for everything, because Java provides the big 4 built-in interfaces, and they are absolute lifesavers. Let's break them down. First, predicate. It takes an input, tests a condition, and spits out a simple true or false. Next, consumer. It takes your data, does something with it, but returns absolutely nothing. Then there's supplier, the exact opposite. It takes no input but supplies you with data. And finally, function. It takes an input, transforms it, and returns a totally new output. Let's look closely at predicate as an example. Even though you might see a bunch of default methods in there, remember our rule? It still strictly follows the single abstract method rule, because its only abstract method is the test method.
You are going to see these big 4 everywhere in your day-to-day coding. You'll use predicate inside filter methods to weed out data. You'll use function inside map methods to transform items. You'll drop a consumer into a for each loop to print or process lists, and you'll use the supplier whenever you need to lazily generate or get values.
All right, we've covered a lot. Let's jump to Part 5's summary. Let's lock in what we've learned today. A functional interface strictly has one abstract method. We enforce that rule using the @functional interface annotation. We use Lambda expressions to implement them cleanly and concisely. And always keep the big 4 in your back pocket: predicate, consumer, supplier, and function.
So, I'll leave you with this. You now know exactly how to write beautiful, concise Lambda expressions.
But how do we actually use them to process massive collections of data efficiently? Well, that is exactly where the Java Stream API comes in, and we are going to tackle that giant puzzle in our very next explainer. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today, and keep coding.